Hi, I'm Mustafa from Vue School, and let's say that you have a page listing down all the tasty meals you have in your restaurant. And if the user is interested enough in one of the meals, they will click on Read More, and we will block the navigation until we get the data for the meal from the database. So, how about we stop blocking the navigation? How about we serve the user with the data we already have as an immediate response and get the rest of the data in the background? Maybe show some skeleton or loading indicator. How can we do that? Well, in the page where we fetch all the meals, we are using useFetch. UseFetch and useAsyncData composables default behavior is to cache the responses in Nuxt. And Nuxt allows us to pass a second argument as an object, useFetch or useAsyncData, and then we can define a specific name for the key that will be used to store the cache. And then we can pass this key to the useNuxtData composable in order to return for us a ref with the data we want from the cache. So I can reuse this part here in the page where I get one meal by the slug, and then I can get this meal from cache, and here I'm referring to the meal that I'm trying to get by the slug, and I can use a computed property to get the meal because I'm dealing with a ref here. So I can say cached meals dot value if it exists, because it might not exist. The user might have never visited the meals page before, so this cached data might not exist. But if it does, I want to find the meal, and I'll give it the meal type, and I want to find the meal with the slug that matches the slug that I'm trying to get. And then here, as the second argument to the useFetch, I'll pass an object, and I'll say that I want to lazy fetch this if I already have cached data for this meal. So I'll use double bang operator to make sure that this will evaluate to a boolean, not a value. And then if this is going to be lazy fetched, then I want a default value for it until the data comes from the backend or from the database. So I can pass the default option here, which is a function, and I'll say use this as the default value. Now, how this will look like, let's have a look. I'll go back to the meals page, and then I'll do a hard refresh. So I got all the meals. Let me just zoom out first. If I visit the meal, it will show me this skeleton for the data that I don't have yet, and it will be filled from the database later. Check this out again. Here, all the data that I don't have will be showing as skeleton. Now, if I visit again one meal that I visited before, it will rely on the cache and will serve it immediately without any skeletons. And this way, we serve immediate responses to our users.